Jericho. And behold, there was a man named Zacchaeus, which was the chief among the publicans, and he was rich.
Okay, now you read this thing.
Okay,
now, you're reading the King James, right?
I'm reading Revised Standard Version.
Okay, read that one.
He entered Jericho and was passing through, and there was a man named Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector and rich, and he sought to see who Jesus was, but could not on account of the crowd, because he was small of stature.
Okay, Brother Johnson.
All right, you want me to read all 10?
No, just the two, what they just read.
Okay. Give me one with small. Jesus entered Jericho and was passing through. A man was there by the name of Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector and was wealthy. He wanted to see who Jesus was, but being a short man, he could not because of the crowd. So he ran ahead and climbed a sycamore fig tree to see him, since Jesus was coming that way. When Jesus reached the spot, he looked up. We're good? Okay.
Now, let me exegete some of the things that were said right quick in that. I'm going to paraphrase. It says that Jesus entered into Jericho. That means he wasn't there. That means he's passing through. That means he's going up to Jerusalem. He's going to higher heights. At one verse, one says that he was a tax collector, and at one of the verses it says that he was a publican. They both basically mention that he was a rich man. Now, it's good to know that there is a difference between a tax collector and a publican. A publican is a businessman that basically is similar to the IRS. Not many people like the IRS because they're taxed and taxed and taxed. Zacchaeus used to tax the people, and he overtaxed the people to where he kept more money for himself than what he should have. Now, read the next.
Okay, verses 3 and 4.
Yes.
And he sought to see Jesus, who he was, and could not from the press, because he was little of stature. And he ran before and climbed up into a sycamore tree to see him, for he was to pass that way.
And he sought to see who Jesus was, but could not on account of the crowd, because he was small of stature. So he ran on ahead and climbed up into a sycamore tree to see him, for he was to pass that way.
Thanks. Now, read yours. Now listen for the word press. There's a difference between press and crowd. Go ahead, sir.
He wanted to see who Jesus was, but being a short man, he could not because of the crowd. So he ran ahead and climbed the sycamore tree to see him, since Jesus was coming that way.
Okay. Now, did anybody have press? Okay. Okay. Now, the difference between press and the crowd, when it says he was a short man of stature, that didn't necessarily mean it wasn't talking about his height. It was talking about his ego. When it comes to he couldn't see because of the press basically represents the scribes, the newspaper people. And you know they can get on your nerves sometimes and be in the way and give out misinformation quite often. So he can't see because of a lot of what? Misinformation. Okay, go ahead again, man. We're almost there.
All right, 5 and 6. And when Jesus came to the place, he looked up and saw him, and said unto him, Zacchaeus, make haste and come down, for today I must abide at thy house. And he made haste and came down and received him joyfully.
And when Jesus came to the place, he looked up and said to him, Zacchaeus, make haste and come down, for I must stay at your house today. So he made haste and came down and received him joyfully.
When Jesus reached the spot, he looked up and said to him, Zacchaeus, come down immediately. I must stay at your house today. So he came down at once and welcomed him gladly.
Okay. Two of the books, Bibles, said place when Jesus came to a place or the place. The other one said the spot. Okay, remember that word place. There's a law of place, being in the right place at the right time. When Jesus came to the place, he saw Zacchaeus up the tree. That's similar to smelling a rat. He knew something wasn't right with this picture. I'm carrying the word of God. This is Jesus talking. And I see something higher than the word of God. That don't smell right to me. So Zacchaeus, he immediately told Zacchaeus to come down. Get out of eye. Now we're going to find out what happened once he got out of eye.
7 and 8. And when they saw it, they all murmured, saying that he was gone to be a guest with a man who is a sinner. And Zacchaeus stood and said unto the Lord, Behold, Lord, and the half of my goods I give to the poor. And if I have taken anything from any man by false accusation, I restore him fourfold.
And when they saw it, they all murmured, He has gone in to be the guest of a man who is a sinner. And Zacchaeus stood and said to him, Behold, Lord, the half of my goods I give to the poor. And if I have defrauded anyone of anything, I restore it fourfold.
All the people saw this and began to murmur. He has gone to be the guest of a sinner. Zacchaeus stood up and said to the Lord, Look, Lord, here and now I give half of my possessions to the poor. And if I have cheated anybody out of anything, I will pay back 4 times the amount.
Now, what's so beautiful about those particular passages is once Zacchaeus came down from the tree. This is interesting. 2 of the scriptures said the sycamore tree. There was one that said the sycamore fig tree. Here's the definition of or the understanding of a sycamore fig tree. A sycamore fig tree resembles the fruit of a fig.
Right.
However, it is a fruit of little value. We all know the fig tree has lots of nutritional value to it. Pay attention to the tree he climbed. The sycamore fig tree. And when he finally came down, he had a mental transformation once he got to see the teachings of God face to face. It's tight, but it's right. Now, for the sake of time, just finish reading all the way through from where you're at. No. Yeah, it's just two left?
Yes.
Okay, yes, okay, we finished.
9 and 10. And Jesus said unto him, This day is salvation come to this house, for so much as he also is a son of Abraham. For the Son of Man is come to seek and to save that which was lost.
And Jesus said to him, Today salvation has come to this house, since he also is the son of Abraham. For the Son of Man came to seek and to save the lost.
Zacharias stood up and said to the Lord, Look, Lord, here and now give half of my possessions to the poor. And if I have cheated anybody out of anything, I will give them back 4 times the amount. Jesus said to him, Today salvation has come to this house, because this man too is a son of Abraham. For the Son of Man came to seek and to save what was lost.